Funding for this production was made possible by the generous donors and supporters of San Diego FirefighterAid and San Diego Firemen's Relief Association.
I remember hanging out with him down at Station 21 when he was a probationary firefighter, playing on the fire engine, and I got to see the people, the job, and the schedule. The time that I had with my dad because of the job was great. Yeah, it's an inherently dangerous job, but I always knew that our guys were well trained. Our department, we're badass. You know, we know what we're doing. We don't get hurt or killed at work. Obviously, my outlook on that has changed since.
I have pictures of Michael in front of this fireplace when he was a kid wearing turnouts and out there, you know, in those turnouts with a hose, and he's wanted to do this since he was a kid, so I'm just so proud.
The benefits of providing a service to the community and being somebody that they look to in a moment of need and being well trained, it downplays the potential of the dangers involved in the job and makes it a very rewarding career.
Everyone thinks about firefighting being dangerous in terms of the fire exposure and, you know, something might fall on you or the smoke, but, you know, I think everyone needs to also think about the hidden risks in the job.
You see backdraft and ladder 49, and you see these huge walls of flame and buildings collapsing.
The fire service is 100 years of tradition unimpeded by progress. And so the learning process takes so long for us to change our culture. You know, back in the day when I came on, we were in open cab rigs, and the blacker your helmet, the more melted your helmet was, the more of a fireman you were. And that was your badge of honor. As a firefighter, I never thought a second thought about the potential of what could come out of that. But then as a parent, it starts putting a different perspective on your mortality. You know, looking at your prodigy, your son, going off doing what you've done without a second thought, and you're like going, If I can make sure that my nephew and my son never run into any of the issues that I did, that would be huge for me. You know, we as firefighters go out to save the public. Well, now I'm trying to save my family.
I saw these people that I was learning from that had salty gear. That's what we said, oh, that guy's salty. Dirty gear, dirty helmets, you know, they'd walk around with, sit on their stuff, sit on their face, whatever, and I thought that looked cool, and I wanted to be like them. When you're first coming up in this job, you hear about the dangers of cancer and you think it won't happen to you, and it's just a statistic. It won't happen to me, and if it does, it's just cancer. These guys are getting through it. It's, you know, it'll suck, but it's not the end of the world.
I can hardly imagine the people that have endured chemotherapy and radiation and so forth would characterize their experience as no big deal. And I would also say to that we don't see the people that haven't survived. So occupational cancer is the #1 killer of firefighters in terms of line of duty deaths. 2/3 of the folks that are going on the wall in Colorado Springs, which is the National Firefighters Memorial, are a result of occupationally acquired cancer. I'm asked to speak on cancer because I was one of the worst offenders of all the things that I'm advocating for. I'm a career firefighter, 18 years with the San Diego Fire Department, and all the things that I speak to in terms of being dirty and not taking a shower and having filthy gear was everything that was me. You and I and everyone else know somebody with cancer. The thing is, firefighters are getting it younger as a result of increased environmental exposure to toxins, and the bottom line is that cancer is not all based on genetics.
The cancer awareness program through the city, they've done a really good job of putting posters up in the fire station. And it's just a little short statement of their cancer and what they're doing to deal with it. And I subliminally would look at those and go, that's not me. That's that guy. That guy's got cancer, and that sucks to be him. And I feel bad for him, but I never thought about it until that moment that I'm sitting across from my gastroenterologist, and he said, what's going on with you is probably one of 3 things, and 2 of them are cancer. You need to put your affairs in order. Yeah. And when you hear that, you're kind of going, wow. within a couple of weeks, with all the visits to the other doctors, they started the chemotherapy and the radiation that went on for 6 weeks. And then they went in and they did the surgery.
When I was going through the academy, my dad was right in the middle of this whole process. I thought that it would just be no big thing, and he'd push through it just like I've never seen him in my entire life. Never seen anything that wasn't easy for him. Never seen anything that he couldn't tackle. He knows how to do everything. You know, this is my dad. It dawned on me when I walked into the hospital after my dad's surgery and saw him with a half dozen tubes coming out of his body, and he's, you know, completely unresponsive and just a shell of his former self. It doesn't look cool. I don't think anybody comes onto this job thinking that they're gonna die from cancer in a hospital bed after a 1 or 2 year fight that just drains the life out of you. But now, that's probably the #1 risk in my mind.
It was scary, and there was days where it wasn't super easy to stay upbeat, but a lot of the times these cancers hide themselves, and if they hadn't have found mine as early as they did, in most of the cases it's fatal. My outcome is certainly, you know, I'm fortunate. I'm just so proud of him right now. I just want him to be happy and succeed in his career and achieve all the goals that he wants to achieve. And I just want to see him continue to be healthy and, you know, thrive in his career and reach the rewards that I got from my career. Nurturing the next wave and the next generation of firefighters has always been super important to me. And the satisfaction I get from seeing those guys walk across the stage and get their red shield for their probation and getting their badge and seeing that, that's all the recognition and thanks I need, is to see one kid succeed, let alone lots of them, and have the best career in the world. And that's what this is. The fire service is the best career in the world. We go through life thinking we're immune, and we're not. And hopefully people will look at this and have worked with me in the fire station and go, you know what? He was sitting next to me on the rig last, year ago, and he got cancer, so it could happen to me. If I can help out one person, that's huge. So if I could help out 100, that's even better.
It's important to tell my dad's story because people need to see what happens if you don't take care of yourself and keep your gear and your air clean. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your loved ones. But just do everything that you can to prevent cancer, because the dirty gear and dirty stations affects all of us.